Welcome to You Don't Know Anything About Women, episode 20. I'm your host, Roy Calvin. Let's get into our first post. Got ghosted after 6 dates. I met this girl on an app. Instant chemistry, slept together on the first date, kept seeing each other almost every week for 6 weeks straight. Tons of sex, sleepovers, cuddling, the whole thing. She was ridiculously affectionate in person and over text. Literally 3 to 4 weeks ago, she was still hitting me with "miss you so much, miss your cuddles" multiple times a day. Then the text slowly started drying up. The excitement disappeared, the lovey-dovey stuff completely stopped, replies got short and delayed. 2 weeks ago, she said she couldn't meet that weekend because of work. I said, "No worries, just let me know when you're free next week." That was the last message I ever got from her. 10 days of pure silence now, full ghost. I genuinely did not see this coming at all. Shit, how does someone go from non-stop "I miss you" and heart emojis to treating you like a complete stranger overnight? It's like I woke up and she erased everything. Either the sex turned bad for her, she never acted like it, she lost every bit of interest as fast as she got it, or she just found someone else and didn't have the decency to say anything. Just feels surreal and shitty. Anyone else experience this whiplash from super lovey-dovey to total ghost like you never even existed? I can tell that this whole thing just moved way too fast. It's what the kids call love bombing these days, which somebody does point out in the comments. But this is why I always give the advice of you got to set the tone from the beginning. If she's sending you all these messages about how she misses you, like, you shouldn't be replying to that within 10 minutes and saying like, "Oh, baby, I miss you too," which you don't explicitly say in this post that you were doing, but I'm just assuming based on how you've written this post that that's kind of how it went. I find that that's just way too much to keep up in the long haul. It's not that I wouldn't like receiving messages like that from girls, but yeah, like who can sustain that? Like, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's like the peak of your relationship is right at the beginning, and then it's just going to go downhill from there. Now, in most relationships, in some ways the peak is right at the beginning, and then it goes downhill. But this is like just too high of a peak right away. There's also lots of people in the comments saying that she found another guy or there's been one in the picture the whole time. I think people on Reddit are way too quick to assume something like that. I mean, a girl can just lose interest in you without the help of another guy, right? Maybe you became boring. Maybe her feelings changed and she found out that you're not what she's looking for. It could be anything. The reason doesn't even really matter. I want to point out this final message that you sent to her, and then you're saying that it was a full ghost. I've criticized women on this show before for stories I heard about them saying they got ghosted when it wasn't really a ghosting at all. And in your case, it's kind of fair to call it a ghosting, but still, like, I kind of don't feel like you put in enough effort. So you say, "No worries, just let me know when you're free next week." I've found with women and with men too, like, everybody fucking sucks at making plans. I'm really good at it, and I always have to be the one to take the initiative to make plans. And I expect to do that with women. I expect to be the leader. But I'm saying, yeah, even with guys, like, if I make a new guy friend, it's like I got to be the one to set up where we're going to meet and let's go out on this day. People just suck at making plans. And I've accepted that. So if you just tell someone, "Let me know when you're free next week," like, it's way too passive for me. There's situations where I would recommend saying something like that, but there's situations when it's like I don't want to waste any more time putting in effort to make plans. I think I talked about this on the last episode. Saying "just let me know if you're free next week," like, she might read that text when she gets it and have full intention to text you next week when she's free, but she could forget about it, or she could just say, "Maybe I don't want to meet that guy." If you feel like you liked this girl enough, it seems like you do, you're really talking about how great she was for basically the whole post, you should send another message and say, "Hey, just checking in. Is there a day this week that you're free?" Or another way to go about it is to just let the week pass and then just forget that whole week. Okay, she didn't message you, and just send her a new invite. "Hey, are you free on this day or this day? Let's hang out." Now, I know some people and fucking dating coaches and shit can tell you like, "Oh no, don't message her again," because then you seem needy. But for me, it's like, okay, we can never message her again and we'll never get a date with her again. Or we can message her again and yeah, okay, maybe we might seem a bit needy, but at least there's the possibility of a date. Because as the situation stands right now, there won't be another date. I want to go through some comments on this one, both good and bad, that have been left. In addition to all the comments about how she's found another man, there's someone saying, "You slept on the first date. How are you surprised? She's playing the field." That comment means absolutely nothing. I mean, a girl can be going on tons of dates and not sleep on the first date with any of them, and still she's playing the field, isn't she? In my experience, sleeping on the first date is the number one path to relationship happiness, in most cases. There's someone saying, "Have you tried to reach out again?" Which is kind of just what I was saying about how, yeah, if you really like her, you should just send the message. Another person here saying, "Don't sleep with a girl until she says 'I love you' and you truly believe her." Seriously. I don't know if the person who left that message is a man or a woman, but that's insane. I mean, if a woman had that approach to dating, I could kind of respect that when she's at a certain age, but men, no, never, never. Wait until she says I love you. If I waited for that, I don't know if I ever would have had sex in my entire life. Like, basically just wipe away all the women that I've had sex with. None of it ever happened if I was supposed to wait until they say I love you. He also made a comment to his original post saying that she still has her clothes in his place. Should I throw it away? If it was me, yeah, I would throw it away. I mean, I would wait a little bit of time, of course. And like I said, if it really means that much to you, you should be messaging her and seeing if she wants to meet again. But yeah, within a few weeks, I would throw it away. Now, because the way I take on relationships is that the girls aren't messaging me usually every day saying that they miss me, I haven't had a ton of experience with that just because I kind of set the tone from the beginning of like, yeah, I'm going to take hours to reply to your message and stuff like that. But I can give an example of girls just being irrational and not really meaning what they say. I had this date with this 19-year-old girl and we had sex together on the first date. And for months after the fact, I'm just kind of going through my normal routine of maybe inviting her out again after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And at the beginning, she'd be responsive enough and say, well, I'm busy that day or whatever. But her behavior just kind of got worse and worse over the months. Like I would send her an invite and she would not even reply to it. And then a few weeks later, she'd just be like, hey, Roy, like I miss you. And things like that happened a few times over the course of a few months, just like her saying that she misses me and then me trying to set up a date and her just like ignoring it or whatever. And so one time when she said she misses me, I said this from like a place of experimentation of like, let me see if I can say anything here to get her out again, not from a place of frustration. I said something like, if you miss me so much, then how come you never make any effort to meet up with me? And to be honest, I forget what her response was, but I'm pretty sure she did reply. It didn't like piss her off or anything. And I think for a couple months more after that, there was still a bit more of like just me hitting her up and then it not going anywhere and her saying she misses me. I don't know. Even I'm confused by situations like that. I guess this is all to say that, yeah, just this type of I miss you stuff so early on into the relationship is not a good thing. I've never seen anything good come from it, and I think it sets everyone's expectations way too high. Okay, let's move on to the next post for this episode. Getting too many mixed signals. I'm 34 and I've been dating this woman who's 29 for almost 2 months now. We've met up 6 times total. I really like her. We have a lot in common in terms of hobbies, where we grew up, etc. I could see myself dating her long term. I'm not sure if she feels the same way. We text every day, but she only seems to want to meet up in person every 2 weeks roughly, even when she says she doesn't have a whole lot going on during the week aside from work. The women I've dated in the past, once we've gotten to this point, we saw each other every few days, so I'm wondering if she's interested. We hadn't done anything physical outside of hugging until our last date. This is partly my fault, as I'm admittedly very bad at reading signals and still a little shy initiating kissing. The last date, we got dinner and I invited her back to my place. I asked her if I could kiss her, and she seemed taken aback but said yes. And it was a little awkward. I've always asked women if I could kiss them, and it has never really felt this awkward. Again, I'm really bad at reading signals and would rather just ask directly. So we make out a little and then stop, and she's really quiet the rest of the night. And we mainly just watch TV. I asked her a few times if she was okay, and she said that she was fine. I said I was sorry if I made her feel uncomfortable, and she said not at all. She appreciated that I asked for consent. I told her that I really liked spending time with her and would like to see her again, to which she replied, same. I walked her to the train station, and she texted me when she got home and said she had a lot of fun. I texted her again the next morning and tried to make plans for the upcoming weekend, but again she wants to meet up in 2 weeks. I really do like her, but at the same time, I'm just getting way too many mixed signals. I guess I don't know if anyone's been in this situation. I think I might just call her and ask her if she sees this going, but based on the last interaction, I'm not really expecting a straightforward response. I'm pretty sure she's still seeing other people, which is fine. I paused my dating apps, but I'm thinking of unpausing them until I get a more clearer response from her. This kind of relates to the first post in this episode, where I was saying that you got to set the tone from the beginning of how often you're going to be meeting and how often you're going to be messaging. In this case, she is doing what I would recommend the guy to do. And I'm telling you because I want you to succeed, not because I'm trying to talk shit about you, but you're kind of being the feminine one here who's trying to like meet up more often. Oh, I want to see you all the time. And she's keeping you at a bit of a distance, this 2-week or 10-day buffer or whatever. That's what I think you should be doing. I think you're kind of lucky that it's not all gone to shit because you said that she's still willing to meet in 2 weeks or whatever. I think it was a bad idea that you texted her again the next morning and tried to make plans for the upcoming weekend, which I assume was, I don't know, like 5 days or whatever from your date. You're meeting 3 times a month. That's plenty. You also say at the end that you're thinking of calling her and just asking her straight up what's going on. And there's a lot of comments saying that too. I wouldn't do that, man. I would just keep going with the flow and keep going with these like meeting every 2 weeks. And if you get this next date, then don't text her the next day asking if she wants to meet up in a few days. Like, you don't need to text her the next day at all. Wait a week to text her and then say, hey, are you free like next week? Let's meet up. Despite meeting every 2 weeks, you say that you're still texting every day. Like I would stop that too. At least, again, it's about setting the tone from the beginning, in my opinion. So it's hard if you've been texting every day for 2 months and now you want to build in some space. But I still think you should like start, not messaging her for a couple of days and then just whatever your normal conversation is, say something. There's no need to be texting every day either. I'm a big fan of just saving everything that I want to say and talk about until we meet up, for the most part. Let's focus in on this time that she was at your place recently. You asked if you could kiss her and she seemed taken aback but said yes. I always say that you should never ask for permission to kiss or do anything, and that the girl will stop you if it's something that she doesn't want to do. Personally, like if I'm trying to make it happen with a girl, I'll just like kiss her on the cheek first, and that's kind of like my gauge of how it's going to go from there. If she's not into a kiss on the cheek, then probably, but not always, nothing is going to happen. Or if I kiss her on the cheek and she's receptive to it, then okay, we can move on and see what else she's receptive to. So I understand that some people are worse at reading signals than others, but I think just like kissing them on the cheek is an easy way to figure out how she's feeling about everything. You make out a little and stop, and she's really quiet the rest of the night, and you mainly just watch TV. My heart hurts in this situation because I think she wanted to have sex with you. I'm very aware of this, like, it's kind of awkward, but it's kind of not, because I know where it's heading. A lot of the time, yeah, if I'm making out with a girl, I'll pull back a bit and just continue whatever we were doing for a few minutes, whether that was watching TV or music videos or playing some kind of board game. And I notice, like, yeah, she gets quieter in those few minutes. I think she's just thinking about, like, okay, sex is coming. I gotta mentally prepare for having sex with this guy. So I really think that's what was happening when you said she felt quiet the rest of the night. Like making out and then stopping. You're 34, she's 29. Like, if you were both 18 years old, I could kind of understand just making out and then not doing anything. But at these ages, and you've been on 6 dates, sex should have already happened. And I mean, she's there, she's ready. She's hot and ready. So in my opinion, if she was uncomfortable at all, it's because you didn't try to have sex with her. But again, despite what I see as mistakes here, it seems like she is willing to meet you again in 2 weeks. So this can all be salvaged. The next date, try to have sex with her. And also do not message her the next morning asking to make plans in a few days' time. That's just, no, don't do that. All I know is what's worked for me over the years, and I don't do anything like that. Unless it's a girl who's like traveling and here for a week, then it's a whole other story. There's also a lot of people in the comments telling you like, oh yeah, it's time to let her go. She's not showing any interest. No, absolutely not. She's willing to meet up on the date. This can still work out despite all the mistakes. Also about unpausing your apps, go ahead. Let's go on to post number 3 for this episode. What is the best response to the ladies' let's be friends text? I just got the, hey, had a great time last night, but think we should just be friends text. What's your best response to this? I thought the date went really well, but she went cold on me right at the end, like she has her mind made up. I may have been too nice. All her past relationships seem to have some sort of narcissist in there. I'm not looking for friendship, so I want to wind it up and say thanks, but not for me. It's kind of hard to believe that this post got so many comments. It's so simple, but there's like 150 comments. So it's going to be really quick advice from me, but I'm going to go through a couple of comments just for fun. The answer is don't say anything. Like, what's the point? It's over. There's nothing that you're going to say where she's going to say, oh, you know what? I'm going to actually meet up with this guy again, and he's totally changed the way that I see him. I'm actually interested in dating him again. No, it's just not going to happen. Because there's a lot of people saying things like, oh, sorry, I'm not interested in being friends, so good luck with everything. But I don't like that. That may not seem reactive to you, but to me, it seems kind of reactive. She gave you a nonsense text message, really, and it's validating it by giving it any kind of response. There are some people in the comments who are saying the same as me, to just not say anything. But yeah, a lot of them are saying, oh, I'm not looking for any new friends, but good luck with everything. But she's not really looking for friends. She just doesn't want to see you again. That's it. There's also a comment deep down saying that he should say, it's totally cool that you don't want to pursue anything romantic, but coming up with a story about wanting to be friends is disrespectful. Now, it's like I just said, I know that she doesn't want to be friends. I know she's just trying to let me down lightly, but there's no reason to try to teach her a lesson. I've said in many episodes, don't try to teach women lessons. It doesn't fucking matter. No need to fucking wave your finger at her and say, that was disrespectful. It's over, man. There's also someone suggesting he say, for sure, good luck out there, and then block them and move on. Like, what's the point of blocking if you're going to send them a message? I don't understand. And what's the point of sending a message if you're going to block them? Stay silent and go on a date with someone else. Okay, I'm going to move on to post number 4 for this episode. Gave a girl my number on a note. I feel good for putting myself out there, but I'm left feeling cringe. I'm 27 years old, I work full-time and currently going to college. However, I don't put myself out there as far as dating and social scenes go. I saw a cute girl who works at a local food place where I live, and I'd see her every time. I was picking up a good vibe off her. She was really soft-spoken, not doing the super fake happy thing, and is just cute. So I thought, screw it. I wrote a little note saying I'd like to get to know you over coffee perhaps, ending it with no pressure. When I handed it to her, it was awkward and spur of the moment, and she didn't know what to say and just said, oh, thank you, because I'm sure it took her off guard. I didn't linger, I just left. I haven't heard from her, and that's okay. I understand it was a shot in the dark. I feel somewhat proud because I never do anything like this, yet I just feel like an awkward idiot and don't think I can ever show my face there again. About feeling cringe, I totally understand that feeling. When I approach girls on the street and they reject me or whatever, I still get that cringe feeling sometimes, just that feeling of like shame and rejection when a girl kicks your dick in because she's just not receptive to what you do. So don't worry about that. You're right to feel like that. It's just as you do more things like this, not this exact thing, over time, it will bother you less and less. So with that being said, yeah, I just don't understand this whole writing a note and then handing it to them thing that comes up on Reddit sometimes. I think you'd have to be really attractive for that to work. And even in those cases, it's probably not going to work most of the times. I mean, first of all, she could have a boyfriend or anything. She could be married. So that's the big problem with passing this note. Like, you don't even know any information about the girl. And it's not that girls think deeply about it, but I do think that they prefer you to have some kind of surface level understanding of them before you try to ask them on a date, instead of just, hey, I see you here sometimes and you're cute and friendly, so I want to go on a date with you. It can be super hard to try to get a number from a girl or start up a conversation with a girl who's at work. You said you were picking up a good vibe from her, but yeah, I mean, she probably has the same vibe with every customer, man. That's just the way it is. And it's no surprise that it was awkward because, yeah, she's probably not expecting for a piece of paper to be handed to her. I'm assuming she's like standing there to take your order at the counter or whatever, and to just hand her a piece of paper, she's going to be like, what the fuck is this? What would you do if you were in that situation, right? If you were just standing waiting to take someone's order and someone hands you a piece of paper, like, what? I don't know. Did you fucking write down your order for me to take? So the fact that this is a food place that you go to and you say that you've been there a few times and you see her every time, it was not like an all or nothing situation where you were never going to see her again. So I think for me, if I was in this situation, I would have tried to spark up a little bit of a conversation every time that I go in there. Just something beyond the surface level things that every other customer is saying to her, including all the ones that are flirting with her every day, which I'm sure she does deal with all the time. I think that would give you more chance at a better result and a bit more information to work with. You might figure out if she has a boyfriend or not, or what her hobbies are, things like that. Maybe every time you go in there, it's super busy and she has no time to talk or anything, but I'm just giving you ideas without knowing all that information. I also want to address this thing about you feeling like an awkward idiot and don't think you can ever show your face in there again. Go in there by all means. Let her be the one who's embarrassed. You didn't do anything wrong. You shot your shot. It's up to her if she wants to feel awkward and embarrassed. You should just get over it. Go to this place as often as you have been, no more, no less. Order what you want to eat. Go up to her, place your order, knowing that you gave her that note and the ball's kind of in her court right now. And just maybe it's not too late to do what I said about trying to start a couple of small conversations. Maybe not the next time you go in there. Maybe let it, settle down for a few visits. But it might not be a lost cause yet. She doesn't know anything about you, so it's no surprise to me that she's not just texting you up saying, hey, come take me on a date. Get some conversations going, learn about her, and she can learn about you. Maybe there is a chance. Don't get your hopes up, but there is a chance. And congrats on taking that risk of giving her that note. It takes balls. Moving on to the final post for this episode. I dropped a bomb on the 5th date. What next? I was talking with a girl for about a month online, then we started dating. Went on about 5 dates. There's chemistry and life values seem to match. But I wanted to be honest about something at this point. Told her that I've recently started taking antidepressants, and she was very surprised, more in a negative way. Told her that I had some sleep issues, and I've got a lot of stuff to accomplish, and that's why I've decided to start taking them, so that I have enough energy. I started them just 3 weeks ago, by the way. She says that it means that she's never known the real me. She also said that her family was always very skeptical about this stuff. It's only been 5 dates, but I want to give this relationship a way to try. We'll have another date in a few days. Is there any way to find a solution? I'm willing to stop antidepressants for a few months so that she can see me without them. What other options are there? You probably shouldn't stop taking them, or at least consult with your doctor to see if quitting your antidepressants for a girl is right for you. If you live in the bubble of Reddit, you'll see that antidepressants and therapy are all normal things that everyone should proudly proclaim that they're involved with. But out in the real world, no, they're a red flag and way overprescribed. I have no idea about your situation and if you should or should not be on them. That's not what I'm going to give advice on. But I'm going to tell you that for the future, don't bring up this stuff. I'm happy that you waited at least 5 dates. Bringing it up on the first or second date would be a lot worse. But there's really no reason to tell this girl about that at all. I'm not surprised that she was surprised in a negative way about it. I would have the same reaction if a girl told me. Just on the 5th date, fifth date, that's definitely enough time for her to hide her craziness from me. So if she ever gets off of them or forgets to take them, is she going to go crazy? I don't know the answers to these questions. And I bet that these kinds of things are what this girl is thinking about you. The good thing in all of this is that she's still willing to meet you again despite her skepticism, so that's good. Maybe she thought about it some more and realized, you know what, it's maybe not that big of a deal. But yeah, this soon into a relationship, there's no need to be sharing things like that. I mean, maybe after 6 months you could share something like that, but in 6 months you might also be off of them, right? And there was no need to bring it up in the first place. Down in the comments here says that you are trying to cling on to a person who would prefer you struggle more when you could be struggling less. I don't know where this person gets that from this post, because this girl didn't tell him to stop taking them. She's just surprised and doesn't really know what to think of it. She didn't ask for anything, as far as I know, based on what was written in the original post. And there's just tons of comments saying that this girl's an idiot and whatever. I don't need to read any specific ones. But yeah, I see where she's coming from. The 5th date is way too soon to say anything like that. And yeah, most of these commenters don't live in the real world. However, I also agree that you shouldn't just change what medication you're taking because of a girl. Okay, that's it for this episode. If you don't know anything about women, make sure you check out the link in the show notes if you want to get in touch or support the show. I'll see you in the next one.